Okay, so Major League Baseball has already announced the dates for next year's London series of the 8th and 9th of June. The dates are very, very interesting because there's another major sporting event taking place. And Major League Baseball has obviously looked at that and realised we need to get as many eyes on our product as possible. Let's move the dates forward from this year. The teams taking part are the New York Mets and the Philadelphia Phillies. So that New York-Philadelphia rivalry in America is brought over here, which also means we've already had the Yankees and now we're going to have the Mets. We've had both of the Major League Baseball teams from New York play by this point. Now, the dates the games will be taking place is very interesting because we have the UEFA Euros in Germany next year in June and July, and Major League Baseball clearly is very aware of getting eyes on their product and not clashing with the Euros because most sports fans' attention will be drawn to that international tournament. So they're very, very aware of that. And also the Olympics as well in Paris. So there's a couple of big major sporting events that Major League Baseball does not want to clash with. So they've moved it forward a little bit. They've moved forward to earlier in June. Obviously, a later June start, most eyes would have been on the Euros in Germany, and if they were to do it later in the summer, obviously the Olympics, they're not going to get the attention that they want and they need to grow the sport in Europe. It'll be interesting to see the dates they announce for the Paris Games in 2025 as well. That's going to be very, very interesting. Will they do it at a similar time of year or a little bit later in the year, because there's less of a clash when it comes to other major sporting events taking place at that time, but I think an earlier June start date may help with the weather conditions. But I say this, June this year was exceptionally warm and exceptionally humid, not just in London but across Europe. There's been several short, sharp heat waves. Maybe a slightly earlier start date may be preferable for playing conditions. I think the weather conditions did have a major impact last weekend on the Cardinals and the Cubs games. I really do. But I am looking forward to next year's games to see if a slightly earlier June time frame helps play, because in 2019 scoring was higher than in 2023. It's very, very noticeable. Scoring was down by half. There were very few home runs and scoring was down. I do think the weather conditions had an impact on that. So a slightly earlier start date. There we go. And of course the Mets Phillies. That's a good rivalry to get in there. The Mets, if you're a Mets fan, you're long suffering, and the Phillies, it's Philadelphia, so the city of brotherly love. Or is it? But that New York-Philadelphia rivalry in sports and in just the US is a rivalry that they're going to bring over here for 2 days. It's going to be very interesting to see how it plays out. But there we go. So the dates next year have been announced. And then we'll see what, obviously, the price of tickets and concessions and again, the promotion and the advertising, how they do it next year. I think there is room for improvement there as well. But anyway, thank you very much from me. That is all for now. Please place your thoughts in the comments section below, and I'll have some more content for you very, very soon.